Imagine only being able to take a picture once, not being able to see what it looked like until after it was developed. And even then, the possibility of it not being what you thought it was going to be. How would you like to record your life through glasses? Being able to record your life from your perspective. Today's guest will talk about these things and other unique experiences which he has encountered. The Humanities Mass Communication Department at Norwalk Community College presents Person to Person, an interview show where we get to meet locals that we think deserve to sit in the spotlight and tell their stories. And now, join our host, Gloriana Restrepo, to meet our person, Lorenzana.
Thank you for joining us in today's edition of Person to Person. All the people involved with this program are students in the television production course and are directing, switching, operating cameras, and acting as talent for the first time today. The guest you are about to meet is a person who is passionate about capturing life behind the lens of his camera and has captured some of the most raw and intimate parts of his life while traveling and discovering new places. We'd like you to meet today's guest, Lorenzana.
Hey.
Hi. So, I know you, we're friends, but is there anything you want the cameras or the audience members to know about you before we start?
Basically, I was born in Chicago, the heart of Chicago, and I was there till like the age of 8, and then I moved to Connecticut. I didn't start here in Norwalk. I was actually in Bridgeport for like a year, moved to Milford for like a month, and then finally, like in 3rd grade, I was here in Norwalk.
So you went through the Norwalk school system, graduated from Norwalk High.
Merrimack, Nathan Hale, and Norwalk High.
Me too. Yeah. So I know you are a film photographer. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me why film? Or when did you start?
So I started taking pictures like ever since I started going to concerts, which was like at the age of 16. And at first it was just on my phone. I remember another time I asked my parents if I could use their digital camera, but I remember just being in the crowd and there was a mosh pit going on, and I was just taking a picture with this little nice digital camera, and I was waiting for the flash to go off because when it would move so much that the pictures would come out blurry. Mm-hmm. But one day I went to a Walgreens to go get a new SD card, and I saw that there was a disposable camera there, and I had known a little bit about them, but I just wanted to try it out, see if it would be a bit easier to use, and I used it for a riffraff show, which is great. And then I wanted to develop it really bad, but for film disposable cameras like that, there's 24 exposures, and I had only used like 10 at the time. Mm-hmm. So I ended up just being like that weird kid that just went to school with the camera and took pictures. People were like, why are you taking like pictures with your camera?
So what is the biggest difference from digital and film to you? And would you ever make the switch now, knowing your experience with digital in the past?
Well, I mean, I still kind of shoot with digital. I have my own Canon 5D, but I just prefer film so much more because, I don't know, the process on like waiting for the film to get back to you, and then you see how the pictures come out, it's like not the same. I don't know. I feel like anyone can do it with a digital camera, but it's just not the same with a film camera. Yeah. So.
With limited photos, how do you know when to pull out your camera and take a photo? Like, when's the right time?
So at first my thought was just that I had no money at the time. I was just like 16, and so like every picture I took was like very valuable to me, because to develop the pictures, it would be like $12. That included the negatives and the prints, and for me it was like a lot at the time. So I was just like, if I'm gonna take a picture, it has to be worth it. Like, I have to envision it and just know that it's gonna be worth it in the end, and most of the time it does come out like that.
Do you remember the first photo you took where you were like, this isn't a hobby anymore, it's a passion? And what are some of your favorite photos?
Yeah, so when I got my first roll developed from that disposable camera, one of the pictures I took at my high school with my friend George and Trey, you can see up there, I saw it, and it's like a high school moment. Like, I love it so much, and from then on I just told myself that I want to capture more moments like that. A timeless photo.
Yeah. So, what other photos do you have of yours that are like so meaningful to you?
This picture of my dog that I've taken. There's one right there when I was in the hospital. More on that later. But just a bunch of like, I don't know, meaningful pictures to me. I look like Tupac there.
Yeah, that is my favorite photo of yours. I think it
Yeah, I
just
took
shows
that.
like this glimpse of light in like a time of darkness in like a weird, nostalgic.
Yeah, even though
Intimate type of
even
way.
though I'm in that picture, I still take credit for taking it.
Yeah, I framed it. It's me, so
Yeah.
whatever. Besides your own photos, you probably pull inspiration from your old work, but besides your own, who do you pull inspiration from?
There's so many. Like I could say the usuals like Kanye West, Tyler the Creator, but I mean like more reality-wise, I'd probably start like with my grandfather, who means a lot to me. He's told me so many stories about his past, and he has so much wisdom and knowledge for a guy that only made it to the 3rd grade, only because like he didn't have much choice like in his country, Guatemala. Like he had to either work or go to school. Like he didn't even have the choice to go to school. Like his parents told him like he had to work and stuff, and he had problems with his family and stuff. But he got through it,
Yeah.
and he's got like such a good and healthy family. So many grandkids. We have like a family reunion like almost every year. It's like 50 of us.
That's so cool.
And he's like 87 now. Like, dude's one of my biggest heroes. But also, Philip Post, Norwalk's very...
Norwalk native.
Yeah. Aside from like his very successful clothing brand Dirtbag, I've just seen it grow from like the beginning. Even when I wasn't able to cop some of the shirts that I wanted because I didn't have the money, but now I just cop as much as I can because I mean I see how far he's gone. It's not. I've seen. It doesn't even really matter who's worn the clothes. That's like really famous. It's just like the quality.
Yeah.
And that's really important to me. And the story on how Dirtbag became when he was sick in the hospital, he came up with the idea, is very inspirational, and I kind of took a big impact on me when I got sick. So yeah, he's another one. And Zach Fox from Twitter, if you know him, McKay Booty Math.
No, I've never heard of him.
Yeah, he's hilarious. But he says like some of the most reckless stuff on Twitter. I used to be like that. Now I can't really be like that anymore. But that's not even like just his life. That's like a side thing he does. Dude paints. He's a great artist. Does stand up. He's inspired me to do stand up. And he acts. He just did his first feature film with Flying Lotus and this movie Kuso. Just like really disgusting, but I guess I appreciate the art for it.
Yeah, just being able to be talented in different art forms and then
Hell
taking
yeah.
them on, making it just like one big movement. Like everything is impacting everything else.
That's how I want to be.
Yeah, so if there were no outside obstacles, money wasn't a thing, and you could shoot as many film photos as you wanted to, do you think it would lose its essence? Like if it was just something that was there and you could take as many photos as you want and develop it and money wasn't an issue.
I don't think it would be an issue. I mean, if I had the opportunity, I would just take as many photos as I could. I mean, like, I have this camera here. I just got this. It's, Olympus Infinity Super Zoom 300. And it's like already a favorite for mine.
And where do you buy your cameras?
Online. I'll look online like beforehand to research and do stuff. To research how good the camera is. I'll go on Tumblr and see like other people's like work of the camera, and then that will like determine if I want it or not. So, and then this is like
A roll of film.
a roll of film.
And so
I'll load
you're
it.
gonna just roll it up.
Yeah. This
That's
one's a little
so
bit different
cool.
though. Some of them are like on this side, so I would like just roll it here. And then just make sure it like goes there. And then you can already hear.
And now you have 24 photos.
Yeah.
So normal color is 24, but black and white is 36, right?
Yeah. Well, it depends. I've seen other ones that are like 24 as well, but I just started shooting with black and white, so it's pretty cool.
Besides your film cameras, what other ways have you been able to capture your life?
Usually through like social media. I'll put it on like Instagram, every social media has like a story type of thing, Snapchat and whatnot. I'll do that. And then recently I just got these Snapchat spectacles, which no one really knows about. But basically they're really cool. They're just like regular sunglasses. You can actually try them on if you want.
Over 4 eyes? And even though it's not connected to your phone right now, are you able to...
So what you do is just press that button. Is it going off? That button, yeah.
Yeah.
So you press it and then look around.
And it's recording. And
it'll
so
show
you
off.
used these glasses when you were in the hospital?
Yes. So what had happened about a year ago, May 12th, 2017 to be exact, I was diagnosed with stage 4 lymphoma cancer. And it was a difficult time for me, for sure. And I didn't know where to like really go from there, because I'd never really been sick like that in my life. And then one day someone just tells you got cancer, and it's just like your world's changed.
Yeah.
So what I decided to do, I got like a bit depressed, like I guess like everyone does in times like that. But I decided that I wanted to make an impact on like what I was going through. I wanted to let people know, because I know people were really scared, I guess, to ask any and every question about cancer and what I was going through. And for me, after I announced to everyone that I had it, I got so much great support and whatnot, and then that inspired me to just fill them in on what's going on as much as I can. Like I obviously can't tell them each and every detail, but so I had wanted these glasses for a while, and my aunt got them for me, and then from there I saw that like I had an opportunity to show the world what I was actually like really going through, the chemo wise, because most people probably think that getting chemo, you're sitting in a chair, there's an IV bag with a drip, and you're just there for hours. But it's not really that. Like I've gotten chemo in like the simplest form of just like a little pill. I'll just swallow it and that's it.
Yeah, I think even my assumption of it was sitting in a chair. Like I've seen 50-50 with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, so it's like I know everything about cancer.
And that was the only movie I watched actually during cancer, because I was just like, I do not want to watch like any of those sappy movies. So most of them are like little chick flicks. Nothing's wrong with chick flicks. I love Mystic Pizza, but I don't know. I didn't want to watch any of them, but then someone told me that I should watch 50-50.
Yeah.
And I did one night when I was in the hospital, and that just it was so relatable. Like it was crazy.
It's definitely a bromance movie.
Oh yeah, I love it.
How did your bros react to you, and did you see any comparisons?
Yeah, I actually had one that was like spot on Seth Rogen. When I told him, I actually didn't tell him, but I could imagine that he'd like want to throw up after like hearing news like that. So my bros took it pretty good. But I mean, it's weird because like I'm the first one from like my town, not necessarily that has cancer, but like in our friend group or like at school maybe. I never was in contact with anyone that had cancer from school.
How'd your closest friends react when you told them? Did they treat you differently at all?
No, they just told me that I was going to get through it, and that that was going to be okay. Like, and I had my other friend George. He told me right away. He was like, "You got to go on a plant-based diet. No more eating like shit food, junk food, this and that, or else you're going to be stuck in the hospital." And like, basically, the doctors don't even tell you this because they don't know much about the nutritional values and whatnot. But luckily, I had no problems eating, because some of the side effects would have been that like I would have no appetite and whatnot, but I always had appetite.
Yeah.
So I was really lucky. But I just wanted to show everyone through the classes what I was going through.
With you using social media, you said you like to keep everyone in the know, since you are the first person like in the town to go through something like this. Is it weird or ever uncomfortable to get like, for people you don't know to reach out? Or was it helpful? Or?
I mean, at first...
Because definitely there was a spotlight on you.
Yeah.
Like, everyone knew. People that didn't know you had your name. Like,
so I didn't even, like, release the news myself at first. I was diagnosed in May. I kept quiet. I was in the hospital for all of May. And then my best friend, Danny Jacob, he came to visit me, and he had this idea right away, if it was cool with me, to set up a GoFundMe to help with the funds, because I still don't even know like how much it is to this day, but it's just been so much. Like my mom told me, don't stress on it, because that was the first thing I was stressing on.
Yeah, the money.
But
so expensive.
He asked me, he was like, is it cool if I just like I have to share it, and so we can get support and whatnot. And I was like, you know what, just do it. And that was like the beginning of June. And then once that happened, there was so much text and like messages I was getting, really kind words and like positive vibes. And then I decided to do it myself, because I was like, I might as well like tell them from my side. And I did that, and it felt so weird because I felt like the entire town of Norwalk knew. It was just like, it was really weird.
Yeah.
But there were times during this entire time I was getting treatment and stuff that I kind of regretted like sharing it with people, because like, I don't know, I felt like people would never be able to understand what I was going through. But I mean, like, they wouldn't. So now I don't. Like, I'm super glad. Like, I'm pretty sure that's why I'm here today, because of all the love and support I got.
Yeah.
And just being so positive as well.
So I know you're a photographer, but I've had the experience to get you in front of my camera lens. Was it weird giving up full creative control and I'm the one like releasing the trigger? Because when I did shoot these photos of you, you were like, wait, no, move, go from this angle, Flo, or like maybe snap over here. Was it like difficult for you?
Super weird.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first photo shoot I've done, like, yeah, ever. So I was down for it, because like, as of now, after going through like a life-changing situation like this, I'm just saying
anything.
Like, life is too short. Fuck a comfort zone.
Yeah.
So I was like, why not? And it was fun. But,
yeah,
I mean,
we had a
it just
good
got
time.
weird at times.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. Like, do I smile?
Yeah,
do
especially
I
there was like
look
a bunch
into
of
the camera?
old folks who
yeah, we were just like cruising through garden cinemas. We're like, hey, can I come shoot in here? Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun.
But creative control, like, it's so hard when like you're used to being able to move the camera here, move the camera there, and then all of a sudden you're in front of the camera.
It's crazy. I don't know. But I trusted you, and the pictures came out great. So.
Yeah, I was a big fan of them. So to wrap it up, I have one last question for you. If you achieved fame from your photography or any other works you did, what would you do with your platform, and what would be your main message to the crowd?
Can you repeat that again?
I'll read it for you. That's how I'll do it. If you achieved fame, what would you do with your voice, and what type of difference would you want to make?
Fame is tough. I can already tell. But I mean, I'd for sure use it for like very positive causes and whatnot. Actually, right now I'm in the works of like planning a fundraiser just to give back to everyone that's given to me. A bit of a thank you, and then also like a fundraiser to just so more people can be aware of lymphoma cancer. And I was thinking about calling it Laughing for Lymphoma. It might be like a little bit tricky right now, because there's another fundraiser that goes on every year. It's called Laughs for Lymphoma, so it might be a little bit.
Yeah.
of a
And would it
tricky
be
situation there.
like a fundraiser where you did stand-up comedy?
Yeah, so that's the plan. So one night when I was in the hospital, it was like during my 4th cycle. I couldn't sleep one night. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I guess I just had like this little epiphany where I saw myself just telling everyone, or no one was there. I was just like on stage, and there was like a light, and I was just telling everyone my story. But there was like a lot of funny and comedic twist in the story, so it wasn't like so sappy. And so actually last month I went to this like open mic at this place here in Norwalk, Factory Underground.
Yeah.
I went up and I told my story. I was nervous as shit, but I was like, you know what, I gotta do it if I want to do this. And it went super well. I just told everyone my story on the day that I was diagnosed with cancer, and the same day the doctors wanted a sperm sample from me. And then it evolves into like my friend Ty coming to the hospital to visit me while I'm in the bathroom trying to like give this sperm sample out. So it's really funny. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. Not even just like stand-up, but also like musical performances. I know a bunch of people from Norwalk that would love to do that. I've seen them perform. And
we live in such a creative town. Anyone you meet has a story and has some sort of gift they could share with you to make everything.
So I just want like everyone
full circle.
I want everyone to collab and build.
Impact. I 100% agree.
So I have a bunch of ideas, but that's the plan for now. Maybe we're looking at a June date. And talks with the people at Factory Underground and stuff.
I'll make sure I'm there.
For sure.
Maybe I'll even report it. Today we got to meet someone who shared with us wonders of seizing life and living authentically. We would like to thank Alex for joining us today. A quick gulp. We hope you enjoyed meeting one of Norwalk's hidden treasures, and we hope you will continue to join us each week and watch our progress. Thank you and good day.
This has been The Person to Person with your host, Gloriana Restrepo, directed by Danilo Vargas. I'm your announcer, Camila Aguirre. The New Directors is a Norwalk Community College student production.